As I said before, your children are standing right in front of you as I'm standing in front of you. What would you tell them that you're not able to tell them?
I love them, I love them, I love them, and I love them. And that's what it's all about. That I would do anything for them. Again, that everything that happened has nothing to do with them.
I would tell the kids watching this is to spend their time building relationships, get off the computer, talk to people, and start building memories.
Today, we have too many of our youth in need of direction. They have lived their lives without the presence of their fathers, being left to wonder, was it their fault? This project is not casting judgment. There is already enough of that in the world. Instead, it will bring answers to the questions that are rarely asked in such a loving way. By giving a voice to the fathers, finally being able to safely tell their story, trying to let them know they did love them, and they still do. We all have stories. We all deserve a second chance, and that is what Father's Day is all about.
I was the oldest of 4 brothers growing up. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I went to church 3 times a week. I used to preach in front of the church when I was a kid. I was taught good values growing up. I didn't have a father. My father was in prison doing a life sentence up until I was about 8 years old. As soon as he got out from doing his life sentence, he was killed in a 2-car hit and run. So I really had no guidance growing up except my grandmother. So my mom was a single mom raising 4 boys, and all 4 of us, we grew up to be about 6'3", all of us. So we were pretty overpowering with our mom. At a young age, I started running the streets. At the age of 14, I did my first drug. At the age of 15, I got arrested for my first crime. In court, at juvenile hall, my mom came to court and said she couldn't handle me no more and put me in a boys' home. I felt very unloved as a child after my mom gave me up to boys' homes, you know. I felt hated, so my reaction was, when I got out of juvenile hall, was to become a skinhead and be part of all the hate and hate the world. At 19, I went to prison, 4 years. Was involved in a bunch of hate in prison, violence. I got out of prison after doing 4 years and still continued doing drugs. A couple years later, I had my first child, my son, and you would think that would change me. That didn't change me. I still kept shooting drugs, going in and out of jail on parole violations. A year later, I had another baby. I had my daughter. And by then, I was fed up with myself because I could see where this was going, that I was giving my children the same thing that I was given, a fatherless childhood.
It's no secret that fathers leave. Mm-hmm. The statistics support that fathers leave. There are many, many studies that demonstrate that having an involved father in the picture, whether the mother and father are together in any capacity, makes a huge difference for the children.
I was born on Skid Row in Los Angeles. My mother, she was a biological mother. She was homeless. She was a prostitute, and she was an addict. And my dad, he was a customer. She had me on the street, and I guess she didn't want me. So she went up into some apartments and tried to throw me out the window. But a neighbor saw her and got her to calm her down and call the cops. I came to my adopted mom when I was 3 as foster care, and I was adopted at 5. I remember she used to tell me, like, she used to tell me every time she got mad, she would tell me, you know, I don't love you. You know, you're not my blood. You know, you didn't come out of my stomach. You know, those words. You know, since 15. You know, I don't forget them. I don't know. You know, it hurts because, you know, I mean, I understand. You know, sometimes you could be angry, but I mean, I just feel like, you know, you don't say that to people. You know, I stopped trying to school. I would run away a lot from home. You know what I mean? And her son, you know, I remember she used to whip me, and when she got tired, you know, she'll pick up anything. You know, when she broke a stick, her son would come in and he'll finish the job. Well, I mean, what gets me mad is when I'm so upset with her and I can't forgive her is because I remember.
I was just listening, and although I didn't have such a traumatic background as a lot of people that you talk with, I recognize a lot of the symptoms, I guess, in myself. I've definitely dealt with anger. When I was growing up, I've thought out male role models for myself because when I was dealing with dealing with growing up, my dad just wasn't there, and I didn't know, but I needed someone.
So how old were you when your father was out of the picture?
I was 10 when he went abroad to work.
Okay.
I mean, he's sort of like this ambitious person, and so he had that drive in him. Here's the problem that I've experienced is that I have that same ambition inside of me, but also have the anger.
A pretty good childhood?
Yes.
Both your parents?
Both of my parents for a little bit time of my life, and then my father, like around 5 years old, he and my mother split up, and due to that, he started going in and out of prison. So my mother, she raised us, me and my sisters, and we still had visitations with our dad once he got out, and my mother, she always took good care of us, and she used to take us to church a lot, so I was raised in church, and so really by me getting into the streets and everything, it was kind of on my own because I never really had any brothers. So I went to the streets for the brotherly love and joined gangs and, you know, got affiliated with gangs, and just to get that, you know, get that brotherly love, get that camaraderie.
Let's get down to the dirty thick of it. And I'm not quite sure how to get this started, except...
I think I know where you're going.
Okay.
Let me, this issue of fatherlessness, and again, we're talking about the black community. And again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that you know, fatherlessness is not just the black community. I mean, it exists everywhere. But it is particularly troubling in the black community. And my understanding of history is that at the time that the slaves were enslaved in Africa, the families were usually separated right there on the docks. So we'll just separate, you know, the men from the... He said, we got to keep the children with the mothers. That's important. They saw the worthwhile of that, again, having to do with money. But the fathers, you know, why did the fathers have to be there? So it may have started then. Well, what has happened is that for generations now, the black community has existed without fathers. Fathers have, and again, I don't want to say everybody. You know, sometimes people say, well, you said, you know, that's not the case. There seems to be a lack of priority given for the role that fathers play in the black community.
Why did you pick this particular tree?
This tree?
Uh-huh.
It's obvious. This tree is like me. It represents the Ancient of Days. Whole lot goes on through the veins. They run through this tree and they run through my body.
Father's Day is, well, it's mainly like these trees. Each tree tells its own story, but the idea is like life. We all have our different stories to tell. And this is where fathers get to tell theirs, no matter how horrific it was, no matter how moving it was, no matter how selfish it might have been at that time. They get to tell their story so that you can understand what happened then. This tree looks like it's broken. It is. It looks like it's down and out, but it's not. You can feel it. You can touch it. You know it's there. You just need to reach out for it. We're broken inside, but we can heal. It's up to you.
I'm Larry Germain, and I'm here to tell my story for Father's Day.
Hi, I'm Bruce Nahan, one of the founders of Chippendales, and this is my Father's Day story.